Hey everyone, welcome to our Coffee People podcast recap episode. Thank you for being here and being a supporter of the Coffee People platform. I'm your host, Ryan Woldt, and you can follow or subscribe to this show wherever you're listening. But you'll find all of our episodes, links, and bonus content on coffeepeoplepodcast.com. Become a subscriber and help us tell the stories of Coffee People. Our podcast is presented by Roastery Coffee Packaging. You can find them online at roastery.com. Please check out roastery.com to find examples of high-quality, affordable, customizable packaging that they offer for coffee, tea, snacks, and beyond. For a third time, that's roastery.com. Our recent podcast guest, Arda Barlas, is the owner-operator of Boxx Coffee, LA, an offshoot of the original location in Istanbul, Turkey. We're here to recap that conversation in case you didn't have a chance to listen to the full pod, or you just want to reinforce a few important takeaways. For example, Arda is an owner, and as such, his job changes day to day, sometimes hour to hour. He relocated to LA from Ankara, Turkey in 2017, and was looking to get into a business, a hospitality business. He tried a few things before considering coffee, which was a topic he didn't know much about, other than his friends were taking him to local specialty shops. His first aha moment, we all have one, where coffee became more than a commodity, was his first day at an SCA barista training event. His trainer brewed him an Ethiopia Yirgacheffe natural pour-over. The trainer suggested he give it a try before adding any of the requested sugar or milk. The key component of the experience for Arda was, in retrospect, the lack of judgment from the trainer when he asked for those additives, and then the overwhelming fruit bomb flavor the coffee offered naturally. It was a life-altering moment for the future coffee roaster. To that point, we all have room to grow. I learned early in our chat that the Turkish coffee I've been served at various hip coffee shops in Southern California and New York, where coffee is heated up in a little sandbox, isn't really a traditional Turkish thing. More realistically, Turkish residents were likely getting freshly ground coffee imported from Yemen or Ethiopia at a local market that would be heated in the coal embers left after a meal was cooked. The sand thing is more of a gimmick. I mentioned earlier that Arda joined an already existing business in Boxx Coffee. His relationship with the owners was organized through a family connection, but it was only after they met for a coffee tour to learn if their vision for a business, their tastes and personalities aligned, that Boxx LA became reality. It took time, but at Boxx they know what they like, who they are, and what they do well. Instead of chasing trends in coffee, they're trying to offer up what they do best and build a community around that. Arda doesn't consider himself creative artistically, but he is good at creative problem solving. It's an important skill for any entrepreneur. When I asked what made this the right opportunity for him, Arda replied that he never really considered the possibility that it wouldn't work. Why wouldn't it be the right opportunity? Why wouldn't he take it on? That type of entrepreneurial coping blinder can be helpful in pushing forward. Sometimes because you don't see any other way than to keep going until you get to the other side of a problem. The new Boxx LA launched in 2021. It took 21 months to finish construction and get approvals. Opening a coffee shop during COVID's heyday would have been a challenge for numerous obvious reasons, as was keeping a place afloat. But one I hadn't considered was how bureaucratic channels were affected. All of the inspectors, health, building, that sort of thing, responsible for signing off on the Boxx Coffee cafe build changed from the time of the first wave of coronavirus shutdowns to the second, to the third, and the city reopening. But because this was Arda's first shop, he had never known any different as an operator. Just kept pushing forward. Arda and I were chatting during protests in Minneapolis after the shooting of Renee Good by ICE immigration officers, but before the recent shooting of Alex Preddy. I had almost forgotten that there were ICE protests in Los Angeles months ago during the first wave of immigration sweeps by the current administration. Arda's shop and his home were in the heart of that. Curfews were put in place, and it led us to chat about one of the most impactful things a small business can face during times of political instability: unpredictable variables which lead to caution in decision-making, and an unpredictable environment, which causes caution among consumers as well. Entrepreneurs can only control so much. Coffee shop owners can only control so much. And Arda cautioned that sometimes you need to price for danger, not prosperity. There's a conversation going on right now about whether or not the coffee shop or the restaurant or the grocery store is a political place. And there's an argument for and against that. It's hard to say what is the right thing to do. I know a lot of coffee shop owners are struggling with it. If you have thoughts, we'd certainly like to hear them. Please share those with Coffee People Podcast. During our Coffee Smarter moment, which we do on behalf of our presenting sponsor, Roastery Coffee Packaging, I asked Arda about the reality of joining or buying into an established business. He said that what you need to do first is due diligence, understand what you're getting into. And then second, remember that even though you may be friends with your partners or future partners, it's still a business, and you should treat it as such. Business partnerships are akin to marriages. Arda finds that being calm helps. Don't make business problems bigger than they need to be. Don't lose respect for the person across from you if you have a disagreement, because you'll have times where working relationships are good and times where they're bad. So stay calm, carry on, drink some good coffee. You'll get through it. Finally, being calm feels like pretty good advice, just generally speaking, when facing the uncontrollable. Feels like we're going through an exponentially increasing number of traumas in the form of politics and climate and economy, for starters. And it's easy to forget about yesterday in the face of today's current events. I don't have a solution for that. I wish that I did. What I can say is that grace in the face of disaster goes a long way. It's only been 1 year since the Palisades fires in the Los Angeles area. It feels like a lifetime ago. The rebuilding and recovering in trauma is ongoing. And I hope there are moments where a cup of really good coffee gives at least some of those residents a moment to breathe. That's something that I think that coffee shops bring to our communities. Moments where we can take a breath. That's our recap of the episode featuring coffee roastery owner and operator and entrepreneur Arda Barlas of Boxx Coffee Roasters. You can find them online at boxcoffee.la. You can watch or listen to the entire episode of the Coffee People podcast on most podcast platforms, including YouTube, which is where we could use your help in growing our subscriber list. We went from no subscribers to more than 100 over the past few weeks, which is pretty cool. So find us on YouTube at Coffee People Podcasts, as well as Spotify or Apple. All of the important links are in this show's notes, wherever you are. Thanks again to friends and partners of our show, including Roastery Coffee Packaging, Sivetz Roasting Machines, Hacea Coffee Source, Relative Coffee Company, and of course, all of you. Wherever you are, please tip your baristas. And of course, drink good coffee.